First step into solving any Rubik's Cube is getting a good one. This cube I recommend for every beginners. It's called the Moyu RS3M 2020. It's really cheap and it's amazing for its price. I recommend it. There's a review I made on this cube as well. I'll leave it down in the description for you guys to check it out. A quick introduction to how to solve a Rubik's Cube. The first thing to do to solve a Rubik's Cube is solve one side, like this. You see how all these colors are matching each other. We want something like that. We don't want something like this because you see it's not matching. This is what we want. Second thing we want to do is solve the second layer. And by doing that, we only need to learn 2 algs, which is really good. And it's really simple as well. And the last section of solving a 3x3 is in different parts. With the first one, you solve the white face, and then you orientate or solve all the corners, like so. And then you learn a specific alg to solve everything else. Really, it's that simple to solve a 3x3. You just gotta learn algs and you gotta remember them, and you're just ready to go and show your friends how to solve these. This video, I'm gonna get into only the first layer. Another video will come out into doing the second layer, and a video for the last layer. Hope you guys enjoy this. If any questions, leave them down in the comment section and I'll try answering them as best as I can. Getting into the tutorial, by solving the first layer, you gotta solve the cross, which looks like this. Is a plus sign, and the edges, the 4 edges are solved. Meaning, let's take this one for an example. The white red edge is between the white and red centers, and same with them all. You see they're both matching. Right here, we only see that this one is solved because it's between the orange and white center. This one is not solved because it's a green piece and it belongs right here because this is a green center. So that's how you know this piece is solved and this piece is not. So we're gonna get into how to do the cross easily. So what I recommend is paying attention to one piece at a time. So let me scramble this up real quick. Okay, so right now our white side, there's no cross or anything solved. We gotta look for one piece. I'm gonna do this red white one, and you gotta put it in. Since it's the first one, you could put it in any way. Right here is already attached to the red center, so I gotta attach it to the white edge. The white red edge gotta be attached to the white center as well. So this is an easy one move to go in. Here's another one. It's already attached to the blue, and we gotta attach it to the white. White's down here, so we could just insert it like so. Make sure while doing your edges, try to not mess up the ones you already solved. As in, watch this. I gotta put this back here because it has orange in it, and orange is in the back. So I can easily put it in like that and rotate it so it's solved. But I messed up these two because they're not in the right places. So what I can do is, you gotta kind of use logic as well while solving the Rubik's Cube. Right here, I can just move this once, and then I can insert this in here, even though it's wrong because this is where the edge belongs in, and if I move it, it still belongs here. So I could put it down, and I gotta realign everything, and these two are still solved, and this one is still solved. Another way you could do is just bring it to the top, and you can move it so you could solve half of the edge, and then you can insert this without messing anything up. And the last one is right here. We can move it until solved and then insert it. There's some cases out there that's kind of difficult to solve for beginners, like this one. Neither of the colors are solved. So you have a white belongs on the bottom and green is in front of you, so you could put this to any side by what I'm saying. Okay, make sure the cross is on the bottom while doing this. You could put this to the left or to the right. What you're gonna do is you're gonna do a move so you could solve it. You could do it on this side or you could do it this side. Okay, it's half solved, and now you gotta put this in. You probably realize that you broke this one apart from the cross, but you could fix that easily. So once again, let me do it on this side. You could bring it down so these two colors are matching. And now rotate it so it's solved. And now you got this one solved, and you gotta fix this one. So you could just put it back in, like so. Sometimes people make the mistake, including me, of putting the wrong pieces in the wrong order. As you see, these two are solved, and these two need to be swapped. So an easy way to take out an edge without messing anything up is just bring it all the way up to the opposite side. Now you could put it over and solve it halfway, and then bring it down to solve it. This one now, the wrong one that should belong here is out, and you could put it in the right one. Once again, always make sure you're not ruining or messing up any of the pieces. Cross is the easiest part of the cube to solve because you have the freedom to do whatever just to solve 4 pieces out of the many other pieces you gotta solve it on a Rubik's Cube. After solving cross, and then everything else, you just gotta make sure you don't ruin the cross or any other pieces you put in the right place. Now we're making our way to solve each corner. So you gotta learn one alg, which is gonna be really useful for cubing and just for solving the Rubik's Cube itself. So we're gonna look at this piece for example. This corner belongs between here, or belongs in here, because it's white, so already it should be on the white side. It has red and green on it. So here's red and here's green. That means it belongs in here. If it has red and blue on it, it'll belong in here. So this one alg you gotta learn, it's everything for Rubik's Cube. I still use it to this day. It's something everybody gotta learn, but it's R, U, R prime, U prime. So what that does, it moves this piece so you can solve it on the bottom, like so. Sometimes it's not gonna take one time for you to solve it. As in, let's look at this piece. It has white and red. Here's red and blue. Here's blue. If I do that same algorithm, it's not solved. So I gotta do it again and again. And you keep doing it until it's solved. You also gotta make sure the piece that you're gonna solve, here, this one, orange, green, white, orange, green, white. Make sure it's on the right side as well, same with the bottom part. Because if you do the alg, while this piece deserves to go in here, and if you do it here, it's doing nothing to that piece. So make sure this is on the right side facing you, and this is on the right side facing you. So you just do the alg, and you repeat it. You see, this is solved, but the corner that went in is not the right one that should belong in there. This is the piece that belongs in here. So you also got to pay attention to that. And the last one, it belongs here. You just repeat it, and then it'll solve itself eventually. It's easy to solve the first layer. Once again, you got freedom to move the pieces around. Here, let's do another example of solving the corners. So this piece goes in here. So once again, it's solved. Right here, I got no corners on top, so that means they're gonna be corners on the bottom. So easy, you just choose whichever one. Don't choose the solved one, because that's solved. You don't gotta do anything to that one. I'll choose this one. I just do the same exact alg, and I'll take it out. Now I gotta put it where it belongs, right here. Put it over it, and then I do that alg again. And it took out this one, which belongs in here. And it's solved. And the last one, it goes right here. And there you go. you solved the first layer of 3x3. Here, do one example solve of solving the first layer on 3x3 real quick. Once again, you pay attention to one piece at a time, which is this one. It's orange. I pay attention to this one already because this is solved and it has white on it and it goes on the bottom. We have this one. It goes on the red one. It's halfway solved and I move it in. This one, there's no piece in here, so I don't gotta fix it. This one, I gotta flip it. It's in the wrong place. So what I can do, I bring it all the way up and I move it to the left or the right, and you bring it down to solve it halfway, and then you move this piece so it's facing white side to solve it completely. And I move this out the way too. You always gotta check if something has been moved out the way or not. You could just fix it. And the last one, pretty simple. It's facing white's facing up, and blue, it's matched with blue right here, so I could just insert it in and make the cross. I see this one as blue, orange, and white on it, so I put it over the blue, orange, white, and I just do the alg. Here's another one, orange, green, and has white on it. You always gotta make sure it has white on it, because here's, for example, it has orange and green on it, but it has yellow. That means it doesn't belong here. You gotta always make sure it has white. All the white pieces go on the white side, so it belongs down here. So I do the alg over here. This piece goes down here, and the last one goes down here. Over time, it's gonna get easier if you start solving the first layer, because you're gonna start understanding how the cube works. You're gonna start knowing where to put the pieces right away. Another thing to keep in mind is after solving the first layer, you gotta make sure there's no white pieces. There's no white pieces anywhere else. That means you have solved the first layer. And pay attention to these colors as well, and make sure it's matching to the center. And you're basically done with the first part of 3x3.